All right, call to order the Thursday, October 16th, Kaiser Traffic Safety, Bikeways, and Pedestrian Committee. First order of business is the approval of the minutes.
I move we approve the minutes for September 2025.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Do we have any comments, updates, edits? Seeing none, all in favor of approving the minutes from September 2025, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? All right, passes. Okay, the next thing on the list is the appearance of interested citizens, and this is a time for people to bring up issues that are not on the agenda. And first we have Tammy Kunz.
Tammy Kunz, Greater Northeast Kaiser Neighborhood Association.
John Green, Greater Northeast Kaiser Neighborhood Association.
Dawn, I didn't see any of the neighborhood traffic management plans with the agenda.
Right, because I didn't meet the criteria. I sent all of the specific information to you on email for all of those.
Okay. Well, we submitted 9 neighborhood traffic management plans, which were again bounced back. One of them didn't meet a certain criteria. Dawn, can you remind me about the one from the email? I think it was Adam Court. Oh, wait. Maybe I have it. So Mambrin Thomas Brooks application refers to a vision hazard, not part of the neighborhood traffic management plan. So when we have concerns from community that don't meet the criteria, how are we supposed to address that if this is not the right place? Does it then go to city council?
Well, there have been many times, or several times, where Public Works has acted on a request outside of the neighborhood traffic management plan process. I don't know, I don't want to speak for Public Works or council to see if that would be possible in this case. I would let either of them speak to that, if that, what is the, I guess, what is the process for which Bill has acted on things that are outside the neighborhood traffic management plan?
Well, those that come in that need immediate attention, we'll focus on and take care of. The one that Tammy is talking about in specific is that intersection at Mambrin and Thorman, and includes speeding, it includes sidewalks, it includes no parking, it includes vision hazards, it includes trees. It was a very broad application turned in. Talking with Officer Powell, he's worked that pretty good. Does not have a lot of speeding, that intersection in particular. The way it's set up, the way it's designed would take a traffic engineer to realign where that comes in, because you have Thorman, Mambrin, and then Brooks, and it's just the way it's set up. And I don't have an answer for that. I understand what you're saying, but that one without a traffic engineer to redesign that whole thing and money put towards that and looking at. But for this specific application, what you put, the reason we said didn't meet it was because there was 10 things on there that kind of trying to hit all those markers, and I didn't pinpoint one out of them, that would fit it, Tammy.
Okay, what about Adam?
Adam would be that same intersection that pulls out of there, that deals with that whole.
Is there anything that we can do to help that leg of it?
So years ago, a couple years ago, we had some complaints from Adam pulling out, and we put some speed displays up on Thorman. If you're coming, put them on either direction at Thorman and Mambrin, and those help let cars know speed and whatnot. and they were there for, I can't remember how long, I've written down somewhere, a certain amount of time, and then they were pulled and moved somewhere else because we are able to pull them, so, and then nothing has really come up from that, so aside from realigning that whole intersection, no, there's not.
Okay. How is the Verda and Dearborn? I know that you guys have been working it really hard. From an email I got from Dawn, how is that working on you guys' end? And I don't know if that goes to Officer
Rick and
Health
Verda on
or
Dearborn.
you.
I'm not sure exactly what part of it are you talking about? At Verda and Dearborn in regards to what?
Speeding.
On Dearborn, well, we just finished our grant year. And I had a lot of our officers doing speed enforcement specifically on Dearborn. And I had the speed trailer out on Dearborn down, mid-block, for over a month. And what I was being told from the officers that work in the enforcement is, it was no longer a very productive area to work for speed.
Okay.
After, a month of, or actually 2 months of pretty heavy saturation.
I know that you were out towards Kaiser Road today. Is there any way we could get that speed sign placed there to show this is your speed? And try and work with the school. And I have been in touch with the school board. I have been in touch with the crossing guards. They had not been reporting it because after the meeting last month, I asked them if they were reporting it to the school board as well, and they said no, they were just sharing it with the school. So we went through that step-by-step process so that we can help track that better. And I did touch base with Beth, and she's gonna work with the principal on try and work on something to help with that as well. But I'm just wondering if maybe we can do something that says, we're watching you, or...
The speed trailer, yes, that we
Yeah.
had on Vernon Dearborn. I currently have, at least I know 2 other locations that have been requested, but we can add that to the list and as it
Perfect.
goes through rotations.
Okay, so you have a copy of all the sheets we turned in?
I do.
Okay, I'm gonna start at we just covered the split. Kaiser Road, how do I strengthen that to get it before this committee?
For what?
Cars are not slowing down near the school zone, which I just covered part of. Speeding is a growing concern. Our crossing guards have almost been hit trying to help the kids cross. They would like the speed sign and to find out if we need to put a flashing light or something that says this is your speed, slow down. I don't even know how to navigate this one.
Now, you're talking primarily between Verda and the school?
Yes, between Verda and Noreen
Yes.
is the
What about
biggest
3 blocks,
problem.
4 blocks?
Up
There-
around Ridge,
There are
the
multiple.
kids are playing up at the ballpark, but I think I have that park covered now, because we have patrols that sit down there.
What do you mean, Patricia?
That street has multiple speed humps in it as it is.
I know, but it doesn't seem to be doing any good. Like, somebody went over the speed hump and landed on the sidewalk,
Well,
2 blocks away from where Jackie and I were walking. That part I got to witness. It wasn't fun, and it was really scary to know there was a group of kids coming behind us.
Counselor Shaw.
Thank you, Chair DeBlasi. Ms. Kenz, when you say you have patrols sitting down there, what do you mean?
I've seen police cars sitting down at the ballpark, Kaiser Little League,
Okay,
just kind of keeping an eye out for our little speed racers.
thank you.
I have a,
Mike?
oh, yeah, go ahead.
I know when we put in the grant request, gosh, it's been well over 6, 8 years for Kennedy. One of the partners that helped us and we didn't get the grant, but partners was the school district risk management. And I know the school board, it's nice for them to know, but the people that actually do the work is risk management of the school district. I know they've partnered with other schools and other jurisdictions. Have you talked directly with them?
No, I have not talked with risk management. I've talked to facilities, which they have told me it is out of their hands, and referred me today to risk management, but I've not been
Okay.
able to get a hold of them today. Are you talking about the Safe Streets grant?
That we
Did-
applied
yeah.
many years ago. It was it was an engineering grant that this committee with Public Works applied for.
Yeah.
We had to do all sorts of walking studies, and a number of us walked that area, and it was extensive. I think, Mike, you were in on that too. And we didn't get the grant because the speed in that area is posted at 25, and there was no histories of injury, accidents, or near misses.
I have a question for Officer Powell. You know, we have that speed reader thing, and you probably said this before, but I don't recall. What is the cost of that, and how likely would it be, aside from, you know, all of the budget concerns, of our city getting a second one?
Or third.
I guess I have to ask what speed reader you're referring to.
The mobile
trailer?
one, the trailer
Yeah.
one, yeah.
We have 2 of them already.
Oh, we do have two, okay. And they're both always, and yeah,
Currently, the one is trying to get charged, probably needing batteries, because they're solar powered, but the batteries are only good for so long.
sure,
Um,
sure.
But the other one is on Dearborn North currently.
Okay, and what do you recall, or off the top of your head, what those things run price-wise?
I do not. They're not cheap because it's a trailer and it's
Right.
got a big reader board. I don't know. We've had to replace them, but usually from insurance because somebody's hit them.
Well, yeah, so it sounds like maybe, as we hear more and more areas, that it's either we're gonna spend the money on stationary signs that tell people how fast they're going, or at least flash when they're going too fast, or get more mobile ones, or somewhere in between. You can continue if you have.
Lock Haven and Shamawa for the bike lane onto Lock Haven. So Shamawa, as you're going down, you hit Bonaventure, and then you have that turn into the bike lane, and then Lock Haven.
What street is that?
Shamawa and Lock Haven, off of McLeod.
And so what is your ask for that?
Speeding concerns in bike safety lane.
Yeah, so that was
David,
one
you
of the
might
green
have to
paint
help me with the language
areas.
for that one, because we spent some time talking about that.
Are the cyclists speeding?
The cyclists are having trouble not getting hit by cars on that road.
Can you speak to that, David? David?
I'm not, Tammy, are you going west on Chamawa? I'm
Yes.
trying to figure out which side of the road.
So we're same side as Bonaventure,
Oh, so you're on the south side.
south side.
And they're heading north?
So you're heading north and
Yep,
east.
they're heading north to Lock Haven
Yeah, I'm
so that
not,
they can use that pathway to work. Some of them have started using the bike path, which I am not even gonna tackle that one today because there's so many potholes, it's insane. I have to get out there and take photos.
So you're talking about
Potholes.
the intersection of where Chamawa, where Lock Haven becomes Chamawa, right that intersection. Where the 3 lanes or 2 lanes go into Kaiser Station and 2 go forward.
Yep.
What do we got, 2, 4, 6,
and are you, what is the bike path that you're that the cyclists are heading towards?
So they're trying to get to, Kaiser Station. I have high schoolers that use that to get to and from work. They also use it to get home. And it is not safe. I had a parent call me crying hysterically because her son's bike got bumped by a car. He was fine, he just picked up his bike and rode it home, but something has to be done or we're gonna lose another kid.
Mike, did you have something?
So for this application, the Neighborhood Management Traffic Plan, those are arterials, one's a major and one's a minor, and those are not included in this. I'm not saying there's a potential problem or discrediting what you're saying. Well,
Right.
let's go to your mentioned potholes. I was kind of stuck on that for a second.
On the bike path,
ODOT's bike path along the parkway?
yep,
Okay, that would be ODOT's.
yep,
So if you pinpoint those, I can give you a number to contact to get a hold of somebody to get out there.
is there a way we can increase our buffer for the bike lane? I know there's not a whole lot of space to work with,
What
but
do you mean by buffer? I don't understand that. Which bike lane? You're not talking about the parkway,
no, I'm talking about
a wider bike path
a
on
wider
Lock
bike
Haven?
path on Shamawa going into Kaiser Station area. Kaiser Station Boulevard, I think is the proper term for that road.
It's at state standards.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't mean,
Well,
Well,
it's still,
still, it's wider than some of them we've got.
it's
It is
30,
wider than some, but when you have parents calling you saying, my son's,
there is a kind of misconception just because there's a white line there that it's a bike lane. And there's an actual difference in the width of the
Right.
white line, and the wider ones do designate a bike path. Or bike facility, I should use the word path. So, and that does meet
Yeah, that one.
the state standards. And that's what, 10, Mike?
I'm not sure. I lost where you were talking about. I was stuck on bike lanes against a curb, so I wasn't 10 feet. I think I lost track of where you were.
The standard is 10, correct?
For a bike lane?
Yeah,
No.
No.
bike lane is what we're
bike
talking.
lane. So you have two lanes going on this side, then you have the bike lane, and then you have the turn lane.
Mhm.
So it's 5 feet from the face of the curb to the white stripe, and they go to the center of that, so it's 5.5 feet, and that's what you give a bicycle. In most scenarios, if there's no curb, then 4 feet is allowable.
so could you describe the situation where this person got tapped on the bike, their bike tapped? I mean, how, were they in the lane
So
already?
this young man was on his way to work at, what is the name of that place? A hamburger
Okay,
joint.
That's not relevant.
Oh, In
Yeah.
and Out. And, he stopped because there was a car coming too far over, which I don't know why they were that far over, but he stopped, and in that process, the car behind him didn't realize the other car was coming towards him and bumped him. He fell over, scratched his arm pretty good, but still got up, and instead of finishing going to work, he went home, and then he missed that day of work, but I don't know. Something has to be done. We gotta be able to keep our kids safe, and if this isn't the place, then
Well, so,
I need to take it to city council so that we can get it addressed before we have loss of life.
so,
And that's my main concern.
So
I wanna
that-
keep our kids as safe as possible.
so that was one of the areas I was thinking of having the green paint, but
Yes.
I mean, there's also, there's those, I think I can never quite remember what they're called, they're porpoises or something, the little bump, to help.
Yeah,
uh,
like the sticks in the road sort of.
Well, no, not the bollards, but they're little, basically humps, and that you bolt into the road. And they're even, demarcated with yellow striping on them. And no, they're these little things. They're about the size of a football, maybe a little bit bigger. But they kind of, I mean, if a car was to start to go over it, the car would know that. So those are the kinds of things that give protection
Exactly.
to, and those aren't that expensive. It's just obviously, you purchase a bunch of them because I'm sure there's savings in that, but then there's the time of installing them. I don't know if there has to be any prep before you install them, but those are kinds of things that are pretty low cost, accepted
Right.
devices to put in.
Yeah, as you go over these, one, my thought was, some of these are not solvable. I mean, they're unique. Yeah, people were speeding, but that, it's not a problem.
And that's gonna be an ongoing
A big
thing, no
one.
matter
But the
where
other
we
one
are.
is, I was just looking at your issue about getting to Kaiser Station is a thing for people from various parts of town. But for bicyclists, it's just a very small part of the kids in Kaiser. I'm assuming he must live somewhere like in the Gubser neighborhood, or not even that far, somewhere south of Lock Haven.
He lives 2 blocks away from Bonaventure, heading towards the roundabout. Off one of the
So,
side
yeah,
streets.
that area, that's a problem. I was gonna say the rest of it, we would tell, if they were south of Chemawa, we'd tell them to get on the Salem Park, the Parkway bike path, because there aren't any cars there. And that would take you throughout Kaiser Station.
Yeah.
And if you were very over towards Gupser, we'd tell them to go Tepper, do the underpass. So it's kind of a narrow area that's, you have to live in to have it be a problem. Maybe. I mean, not that it's not a problem, I'm just saying, looking at it citywide. Okay, that was just a comment that would require a response.
I can't speak directly to Tammy's thing, because typically when I ride to Kaiser Station, I'm going up Lock Haven heading east, and then I don't ever go left on Chemawa or the whatever, the Kaiser Station Drive or whatever it is. I turn right by Chick-fil-A and come in that way and underneath. There are bike lanes there. I am not sure that they're up to standard. They seem narrow to me, and they often have debris, and trees are sometimes not trimmed. All of which causes you to, as a cyclist, to be out in the lane. And I have had drivers who were upset with me being close to the lane because there was debris and problems in the bike area. But anyway, I can't speak to coming in off of the connection there with Chemawa. And the times I've ridden that, I'm less comfortable coming in that way than coming around the other.
I just did that route, we've been last Saturday. I didn't have any issues. My concern, and this is more of a comment, that we have an injury accident and it's not reported to the police. And in many statistical things, if it's not reported, it didn't happen. And that kind of upsets me that it wasn't happening, because we have to go on data. And if he was hit, and you describe him being injured, and anytime a bike is bumped, there's damage.
Yeah.
So
You needed a
I'm
new
thoroughly
bike tire.
surprised or disappointed that it was not reported. And even if it was reported the next day, that data, we don't have the data. It's
Yeah.
not there. It's
And
just
I explained
hearsay.
that she really should report it.
Here, what we're hearing really is considered hearsay.
Right.
So that's my comment, sorry.
No. Well, I guess this gets back to, looking at low-cost, not permanent solutions, like I was suggesting. Being a little more flexible in our trying out things. Maybe having a cache of equipment the city has that they can try these things in different areas and see how successful they are, which then can lead to maybe some future permanent, solution. That's,
Okay.
I would add, so you submitted those, did you submit those?
I sent them to Dawn and she sent them to the team. I did include Matt and David with my emails.
So I guess maybe before you submit them, have you tried sitting down with either Officer Powell or Public Works, or again, even with one of us to kind
No,
of?
but I can work on this with Mike.
Yeah, I think that might
Officer
help.
Powell is very busy.
No, yeah, I know they're busy, we're all busy, but I think it may not lead to complete success, but it might smooth out some of the problems beforehand.
I appreciate your efforts and I'm happy to help. You and I have been in contact on a few different issues, so
Yeah.
if I can help, that'd be fun.
Thanks for your support. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next on the list is Irma Montoya.
Oh, I'm sorry,
You just,
my name, but no, but I do have, sorry,
yeah, if you have something to say, please come up.
I do have something to say about,
And if you can just say your name and city of
Oh.
residence.
my name is Irma Montoya, and I put my name because I thought I was supposed to sign in for the meeting, but, listening to the ladies talk about the bike path, and then one of the members said about the Salem Parkway being one of the ways for bikers to safely get to their destination. I lived on Dearborn and 19th, which is close to the path, and I walk that path quite often, and there's a lot of trash in the area. And many times, there's some homeless as well living in the path area. And they leave the trash strewn on the pathway. So for the bikers to use that path, it's not safe at times because the path, you either go on the path or you can go off it, and then there's not really sometimes a way to move to the side safely. And so my concern is, who do I approach about cleaning that, being a member of maybe a community that cleans the path? And I would volunteer Mr. Laszlo Montoya to be part of the cleaning crew.
Mike, that's ODOT.
Yes, ODOT.
So, yeah, that's outside of the city's jurisdiction, and as you heard, it's ODOT's. We do have an, excuse me, an Adopt a Street program for streets throughout Kaiser. I don't know how that works to adopt something outside of. Might have to talk to Marion County. Well, no, talk to ODOT, I'm sorry. It's in
Because
Marion
my
County,
family and I
but
would be interested on, being part of the cleaning, and, I do have teenagers that.
if we can get your contact information, I can do a little digging and see who we could put you in contact with.
Mike,
Oh. Just have an idea. I know it's ODOT, and we've had our battles with ODOT on that area as cyclists. Kaiser's had a graffiti problem.
Yes.
And working on that in McNary High School, the JROTC program stepped forward, and they, once a month, work with the city through Ben, our code enforcement officer, to go out and clean graffiti. Another group from McNary, but we'd have to work through ODOT, is to go out there and just clean that area.
or a section of it.
Or a section of it. Just an idea, because I know our high school has some great kids, and maybe there's another group that would be willing, because really, you only have to do it maybe twice a year.
Oh, yeah, we, coming from Tucson, we belong to a neighborhood association that was very involved in the cleanup, and it did make a difference.
Well, that's the Southeast Kaiser, majority of it is Southeast Kaiser Neighborhood Association, but that's outside the city.
Yeah, okay.
But, Mike, do you think ODOT would say no?
I think, excuse me, I think what we need to know, Mike, is what is ODOT's schedule for cleaning and maintaining some of this? And they don't have one.
I don't know, I don't.
Well,
But I guess what I'm saying is, we're willing to be part of the solution. So if we approach them and say, look, we'll help with this, there's some things that we can't do, like fix a pothole and widen it, as David said. But I mean, to approach them and say, we're not gonna put this all on you guys, but, yeah, help us understand where we can assist.
Yeah, that's why I asked to get the information to talk to ODOT and move it. Yeah, that, we're talking the same thing. I'll speak with them and see, or I can give her the contact information. I can talk to them as well and see if they have something, so we're.
Yes, because the graffiti is getting out of control, and I can see that it's, being related from the signs.
Okay, well, thank you, and hopefully ODOT will be open to this.
Thank you.
Okay, well, that was it on the list, unless anyone else who has not signed wants to talk? Oh, okay. All right, so moving on to the pilot pedestrian flag program. Anything to update?
So I hung one canister for a crossing at Kennedy Grade School across Kaiser Road. And then I didn't have a place to hang the other canister, and Mike Griffin in the city took care of that, and there's a post there now. Thank you. And I will get the other canister up in the next couple days. And then I will get the extra flags to Tammy and Jackie, and they will maintain it.
And can you repeat what you said on Kaiser near Kennedy? What is it, what intersection?
Nora and Kaiser, but it's crossing Kaiser, it's not.
Right. Okay. All right, well, thank you.
Yeah.
No feedback though on responses for the
It
survey?
looks to me like it's still 4 responses.
Yes, okay. All right, moving on, excuse me, is the active items on our project spreadsheet. So let's see, we have the green paint, don't need to update on that. Pedestrian flag program, we just heard. Speeding in residential areas, sounds like we keep hearing some more. Let's see, so creative list of streets to ask for funding resources. That was separate from what I did, right? Yeah. So Hirsch and David, you said you have, would only be a priority, the street list would only be a priority streets based on police data and complaints. Any?
We haven't got together.
Okay,
Later.
Yeah.
okay. And that's all I have for the active program, or active projects spreadsheet.
So Public Works is still looking at reducing the speed limit to 20 miles per hour throughout the city? Mike?
Council.
City council.
Thank you, Chair de Blasi. Just an FYI, I was going to share this under the council report, but I will do it now since we're talking about the list. That topic is actually on the agenda for the city council meeting on Monday to start the discussion. So if anybody here is interested in that, I would make a note to attend that city council meeting.
Is that a workshop or is that a regular meeting?
Nope, it's a meeting. It's an agenda item on a meeting.
Okay.
And I think it's typical, if you sign up to make public comment, Mayor Clark will call you up on that agenda item typically. So.
Okay, yeah, I think I put it in my calendar last time we talked about it. Okay, moving on, so other business. So there's the bike lane painting, so, thank you to all of you who submitted a response. Sorry for the double take on that, but I was looking at, once I got some data, I was like, well, how do I do this? And then I was like, oh, I should have just done a poll. That would have been a lot easier and have it do the work for me. So the results that came from it, I don't think I got as much or as many responses, not by the individuals, but as votes, I guess. But the two winners, I guess, would be Lock Haven west of River Road and Lock Haven east of River Road. There were some others that got fewer votes, and I think because, maybe it was the way I set it up, it was just fumbling through the setup of the poll, but a few others that on the poll results say eliminated based on votes, but, there was Glenbrook Street west of River Road, Sunset Avenue at River Road, and Lock Haven east of McLeod. So I think I would still like to take at least have the top 10 on votes as the semi-active list, and those are the ones that we can work on, and once we scroll through those and fix those, we could move on later down the list. How does everyone feel about those two as the top two?
Which,
Lock Haven west of River Road and Lock Haven east of River Road.
those two.
Yeah, so those were the two top votes. Yeah, Hirsch?
Those were the two that we submitted to the Budget Committee, and I highly recommend let's stay with that one, because we're going to have to, if we're going to pursue the coloring, those are the two that I personally feel is the most justified, because the area services two schools. And the city council and the budget committee has already heard about that area. So bringing it up again, it'll show that we have some real intent, and the others are not as blatant as these areas.
Yeah, I would agree. I think those are probably the
And-
biggest bang for the buck.
Yeah, and once we get that, and I say once we get it, because I do think eventually we will get it, then I appreciate having this other list of, the number 2, number 3. But I think our efforts should be, let's get something, maybe not this year, but keep hitting. We have every right as a committee to submit things to the budget committee.
Does anyone have any other comments on the results of the poll, or any other?
I just want to say I agree. I think we should stick with the same one each year, because your chances of success are higher, and it's needed there.
Yeah.
Get some paint on the ground, people will.
Yeah, I think, since Salem is so close, I'm sure people are familiar with the idea. It's just they have to become familiar with it every day and they're driving, and then they'll maybe desire more. Oh, okay, so we created a list of bike lanes that would get that green paint, that you've seen. Yeah, and we're trying to identify priorities.
I wasn't sure, at least, that the list distributed here reflected my input.
No, I don't think, well, to be honest with you, I don't know. So this was the voting, but that's why the people's votes on this, it became difficult for me to aggregate the data into an actual winner and runner-up. So I have that. So if you voted, it should be in there. But I'm assuming.
The list that I printed is different. That's what I had done before you sent out the poll.
Right. I think David was just not sure if his vote was cast into that. But yeah, I think it's possibly not, but your vote at least got, assuming you voted in that poll I sent the link to, it was put into that. Okay.
So we don't have the results.
I have it and I'll share it with, Tammy. I'm sorry, not Tammy, Don. To be honest, I'll tell you, to be honest with you, it was those couple top ones and then a big drop off in votes for the other things, so. Okay, moving on. The pedestrian crossings priority list. I'm not quite sure. David? I didn't work on that.
Pedestrian crossings, no. I was gonna ask if, when you mentioned it, do we have any data about, I live up on Wheatland Road, I could count the total number of pedestrians per week, probably on two hands that I ever see driving back and forth. So that's that area. When I drive down by was it Ford down there? That's lots of people on the street and lots of people at, at Chemawa and River Road right there, but what our quote city center is, but it's kind of interesting that it's not, there's lots of areas that don't have very many pedestrians. But I don't have any data and I don't know if anybody does. For all I know, we could have intersections that never see a soul.
I think we put this on the list last week because we said, why don't we have a priority for which we'd like to update? And then I don't remember who was taking that on to help us aggregate a list. But it was like, that's a great idea. What is here's our bike paint that we're interested in. What is the upgrade we want for a pedestrian crossing? Where?
I do remember the discussion, and there was one that I think at the time we all kind of agreed is Lock Haven and Verda. Lock Haven and Verda.
Up there by the school, yeah.
Because there's a lot of walkers there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
David?
And my understanding, or my memory was that we were going to undertake generating such a list, and I think it was somewhat similar to the origin of the green paint one, was that each of us was to bring back our suggestions of other locations and things.
That's my big suggestion.
Yeah. Well,
Because I've watched kids go crossing there.
to put something on your shoulders again, could you send us a mid-month, although we won't have a December meeting, so I guess it doesn't have to be mid-month, it could be mid-January, or at least, I wouldn't send it at Christmas because it'll get lost.
We have a November meeting.
We have a meeting in November.
We do have a meeting in November. Sorry, I'm already 1 month ahead of us.
Yep.
Okay, so yes, please, mid-month reminder, and to get to Dawn, one or several street crossings, pedestrian crossings that you feel should be prioritized. Okay. Councilor Strauss, yeah.
Thank you, Chair de Blasi. Officer Powell, for River Road, because I heard, I think it was Mr. Dempster mentioned seeing people on River Road crossing, and there's not many places on River Road to cross. So if we were to look at River Road, is that something that would have to go through the county or the state, or does it start with us and then, because that's not a city street. So what's the process? I think more education for me. What's the process to start the conversation about crosswalks somewhere? I mean, I watch people all the time from Samanka running across River Road, right? It's like the game of Frogger. I mean, I get it, they need to cross the street. So what's the process?
I think, my guess is Mike is probably better just.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So it's ODOT Oregon Highway 219 that they deemed over to the city to maintain. And that being said, I don't know what hoops you go through, except we provide things and safety for people along River Road, and we've never, they gave it to us to do what needed to be done and maintain. So to start something like that, I don't know how it would start, if it would start here and then bring something forward to council, or start the ideas and start the ball rolling.
Yeah.
I don't know if anything's that says, no, you can't, yes, you can fill out this form. I mean,
So is that maybe something that we could maybe clarify what that process is? So when we start having conversations as a committee, and if something comes up on River Road, we would know what the process is to start that? If it is in fact go through the city, or if we have to go through the state, just tightening that up and understanding that more.
yeah, I'll do some research and let you know.
Awesome, thank you.
Am I correct in that regarding this, that the only marked crosswalks are signaled on River Road?
No,
Are there some just crosswalks painted?
Every intersection is illegal.
I know that, I'm saying
Well,
the paint that's on the ground. Are there any unsignaled painted crosswalks on River? There aren't any at all. No. So all of the crosswalks in Kaiser, painted crosswalks, are at signals. So in my mind, is that
On River Road.
On River
on River Road?
Yeah, but there are crosswalks on other roads that
Yeah,
are not
well,
signaled.
true.
Right.
Now,
Well-
the other one is, the law is that there's a legally crossable street at every intersection, correct? Even the T intersections?
Yes.
Okay. So we need to be sure what we're talking about. If we want more crosswalks, do we really mean we want more painted crosswalks or signaled crosswalks? I mean, and then there's the traffic signal crosswalks.
Yeah, I'm thinking more like what we see on commercial down South Commercial, those with the
Okay, so when
island,
you want a crosswalk, you want it signaled with a flashing light
a beacon, yeah.
and stripes on the road and stuff like that.
Yeah, because I feel
No,
like
I just
River
wanna know
Road
what
is,
you mean
yeah,
when you
yeah.
say it.
Because River Road, it's every person can, every crossing is a crosswalk. I know I bungled that up, but, I could stop going, say, north on River Road, but that doesn't mean people coming south are gonna stop. And so then I've just created a
but
potential
that's-
for an accident.
I know, I spent time in New York, it's the same thing.
Well, they walk more.
Man,
So I think that question is more valid when we know exactly what crossing we're discussing, because across Shamawa, I don't need a flashing crosswalk. I just want some paint.
Yeah.
So I wanted to mention that I participated in the survey that City of Salem had, I believe, last year, where they sent it out to anybody who wanted to respond to it of areas that you thought were unsafe and needed some form of crossing. For example, at the park where Fred Meyer's is, there's constantly pedestrians crossing that, and there's no safe crosswalk
Correct.
marked anywhere. So they've been doing, using, it says pedestrian safety study, and it's on the City of Salem's website, and where they're studying the intricacies of pedestrian crashes, identifying trends and patterns, and developing recommendations to reduce the frequency and severity of pedestrian crashes. So it's a possibility this is something that this city council might want to take on more systematically, rather than I vote for it, in that it actually directly affects the safety of all our citizens, and they might actually be able to give us more data than just when I drive my car and happen to notice people trying to cross.
Counselor Starr?
So if that is something that the committee would like to recommend or make a recommendation to the council, I would encourage a vote to make the to direct staff to work to bring it forward to city council.
Bring what forward?
The survey?
The survey that Ms. Lamb was just talking about.
Okay.
But it's a data. I would make the motion that we recommend to council to have the city establish a survey, a Kaiser pedestrian safety study survey. Is that adequate in the language?
Second, a motion?
Okay, we have a motion and a second.
Yes.
You can pick
Mayor
one.
Hirsch,
Yeah.
whatever.
It becomes alphabetical.
Put me down.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Just seeking clarification. Is it specifically a survey asking for, is it input as to dangerous areas, or is it like locations for signalized crossings or crosswalks or?
Well, let me ask council this. If we make the recommendation to create a survey, can we then work on the questions that we want to put into it? Or is it like, once we say it, then it takes on a life of its own and we don't have any more input?
Yes and yes. No, I think it probably would be maybe prudent to direct staff or to make a recommendation to council to direct staff. I'm trying to get the steps right, because as a advisory committee, right, we can't direct staff, but it can go to council for discussion, and then council can direct staff after their discussion to maybe bring back a recommendation of what a pedestrian safety survey might look like or what it might contain. And then staff would bring that report. My guess, I think it would then come here for discussion with this committee, and then staff would take this feedback and bring it back to council. So the wheels of government turning extremely fast.
Yeah. Maybe backwards.
But I think that's probably the most prudent process, would be to make the recommendation to bring it back.
Right.
Yeah.
Mike,
David?
one question about it. I mean, okay, we're telling somebody to do a survey. I'm not clear that we were clear what the intent was. Do we as a group believe that the streets in Kaiser are not as safe as they should be, and we're doing a survey to find out where and how to make it safer for pedestrians?
So,
Right. If just to make up a survey, I could make up a really good survey that shows why we shouldn't have pedestrians. I mean, that's facetious.
No, I know
but
what you're saying,
you
yeah.
can, I used to do research for this kind of stuff, and you could forecast the outcome by the way you form the questions.
oh, for sure.
So if we don't give them, we want to improve the safety of the streets in Kaiser. That's why we're doing a survey.
Right, so that seems, based on Counselor Starr's,
Is that right?
that's like step 2, or maybe 3
Okay.
of that. But let me ask, Brenda, do you have any thing that you could see quickly as to how they were framing their survey?
Well, when I did it, it was an interactive map, and you just clicked on the location that you felt needed to be looked at
Right, so,
for pedestrian safety. And it didn't have on there, and what is your solution to what would the solution look like?
right,
Like for example, of Fred Meyer's, there's so many solutions. Like what if they put an island in the middle and you walk to here and then you walk to there? I mean, like, it didn't ask the individuals to survey how to fix the problem. It just said, where do you notice dangerous things that should be addressed? And it wasn't, even though that was a survey, that survey was part of a Salem pedestrian safety study. It was one piece that included the data for their crashes and pedestrian fatalities. It was a piece of the whole picture.
Right, so we can ultimately decide if we want to do it as this broad brush, where do you see problems, or we can have it as where do you want to see a more protected crossing? Hirsch?
As long as I've been on this committee, the area that's the most dangerous, where we've had the most serious accidents, including deaths, is River Road.
Oh, yeah.
And we've had pedestrian deaths. And so as I like what you're describing and what Brenda is describing is where do you see, but I would like to have a slight focus on River Road because personally I do believe that we need some more crossings on River Road, but where would be the best? You know, a survey always helps with the data. Police will have data too, and we can move ahead. Another thing is, I guess I'm the institutional, David and I are institutional knowledge. I remember you developing a list with Patty Rogers of all the crossings that you'd like.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that again to
I'd like to see
refresh
that, too.
our
I don't know where
memories.
that is. I'll have to look for that.
Yeah, but it was a good list.
Yeah.
And at the time, it was, well, maybe no. But now I think with traffic and, yeah, we better look at it. But I like the survey idea.
Okay, well,
So
I
that's
will-
my 2 cents.
Well, thank you for reminding me of a thing I did a long time ago. I put a note that
It should be in the minutes somewhere back.
probably is, yeah. I don't know if I have it in this binder. It might not go back that far, but I'll
It
check.
might be in microfiche.
Our stone tablet.
Yeah.
I also remember, speaking of, let's going back institutionally, or we should be institutionalized. The River Road work that was looking at the mixed-use lane, right? The bike and
Yeah.
pedestrian lane. So, and this is, I guess, more of a question for Mike, if you know, since it's an ODOT road that we have maintenance and management over, was that something that would have still had to go through ODOT? Do you remember? No, I didn't. I don't know. Yeah, 'cause I don't even remember.
Do
if-
it first and ask later.
I
Well,
think
that was a study with a consultant that the city developed as part of River Road Renewal Project.
Oh, River Road Renaissance,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
Renaissance. And it was beautiful on paper.
Yeah,
But the south portion of River Road was almost impossible to do
Yeah.
from a fiscal standpoint and business standpoint.
right, it was gonna have to encroach into private,
A lot of
Yeah.
private land.
right. Okay, well, I think, I still like the idea of having us throw
Involved.
well, involved for sure, but, you know, come up with some ideas, but do I have to amend my motion based on
Can
what
you
you were saying?
repeat the motion,
Yeah, repeat maybe what it is you,
Don?
I wasn't able to get all of it, but it basically, he motioned to, the city council, I think to make a recommendation to them, for the city to establish a something survey.
Yeah, it was,
pedestrian safety.
Pedestrian crosswalk.
For the same crossing.
Yeah, use the word crossing.
yeah. So would that, do I have to add for, then, a recommendation for council to recommend to Public Works to work with us?
I would just, the way I would, no, I think you're fine with making the recommendation to city council to direct staff to come back with a plan or a report or something on what that might look like and how you would implement that. And then that would come back here for your feedback and then work its way through the process.
Is that pronoun for the survey?
I'm sorry,
You're using the word that, is that, what's,
the survey, yeah. Mhm.
thank you.
So,
So we're recommending a survey.
yeah,
You could
so-
just make that friendly amendment. You could
Friendly
just-
amendment, yeah.
Yeah, and
And so
then,
we still have the,
Matt,
Matt, do you agree with that since you made the second?
Yes.
Okay. Any
Could I
comment?
have
More
the-
discussion?
I would just like to hear the motion again.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Don.
Okay, so I'll try and incorporate the friendly amendment with it. So Chair Del Blasi motion to recommend to the city council for the city to establish a pedestrian crosswalk survey and to direct staff to come back with a plan or report.
Brenda?
Do we need the word, is crosswalk and pedestrian crossing the same thing?
There's a perception crosswalk means stripes, and we may not, pedestrian crossings.
Can we amend that to crossings, please?
Okay. You okay with that?
Do we need the adjective safer or safer pedestrian crossings or?
That assumes that it's dangerous.
Well, and I think it assumes we're trying to make it safer too.
It was literally a question.
Yeah,
So
I would say,
I hear the answer is no.
I would say yeah, I mean, that's the point of it. So I would say we'll leave it as it is. Okay, so all in favor of the motion, which I will not repeat because I can't remember all the words, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? All right, motion passes. Thank you. I think is it my turn? I think,
What?
to go to city council?
No.
No? Thought it was.
It's maps.
Matt,
No, not it.
hold on a second.
I don't remember reading it somewhere.
Me. The 20th, yeah. I got switched
Oh,
because I couldn't do the 6th. So
Yeah, that's
that would be
right.
me.
That's right.
Okay, all right, moving on.
That's this Monday.
Yes, yes. Moving on.
I'm sorry, who's going to do it? Matt? You will? Okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
I was
Thank
looking,
you.
yeah.
I have that little website if you want to look at that.
Yeah, or you could send me the link. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so, the next thing is something that I had asked, Public Works to provide some information about the funding that for the work, the turn lanes at, what would have been a movie theater, but I don't know what's gonna happen on that piece of property by Kaiser Station. As well as the crossing at 14th off of Lock Haven. And then the, Lock Haven, east of McLeod. And, I could find the the first two, but I couldn't find the email with the last one, so I don't have a number on that. And I wanted the questions I was asking were, who was the initiator of the project? How were they approved? How long were the discussions and the approval, that time frame? Did they consider alternatives, and who paid for them? What was the cost? So of the two, the 14th off of Lock Haven and the one that's currently the turn lane to a field, they were part of the Kaiser Station master plan. There was only, they only identified that as the solution that was chosen as the one an alternative. This projects were paid by the city through the street funds, both in fiscal year 18 and 20. And the total cost for those two was about 450 grand. And then because I don't have that last email, I don't remember what the cost was for, the last part, which was Lock Haven, east of McLeod. So the point of my asking for that information was, what kind of money have we spent on some turn lanes which are auto-focused? And how can we get more funding to work on other, transportation things like we've been talking tonight? Does the street fund pay for any non-cost car lane, projects? Like if you were to put in, say, a separated bike lane along, we'll just say Lock Haven or River Road or something like that. Would that come from the street fund or would that have to come from another source of funding?
No, I think that would come from the street fund.
Okay.
And that the majority of that money we use to resurface our streets throughout town each year. So, and that third question you had, Mike, the reason why there's no cost is because we didn't pay for it, the developer did.
Okay.
So
And
I just wanted to throw that in there if you were
No, thank
wondering
you,
where
because I
that
couldn't
was.
find the email, so I didn't even know what the answer was.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
And what stemmed all these was the Kaiser Station development, and through that master plan it said, and through the traffic analysis study, these key things need to be done for this to happen, and then those were agreed upon, and then we moved forward doing that. So that was the driving force for that.
So I'm interested that even the 114th and Lock Haven was part of the Kaiser Station master plan?
Yeah, to maximize the capacity at that intersection because of the influx that we would get in, and then coming into town and you know, using River Road and the rest of Kaiser to do whatnot. So
Yeah.
it was all part of that.
Yeah, and so, you know, like I said, ultimately, my point is, you know, if we're looking at it from that lens, you know, obviously the increased traffic thanks to Kaiser Station, and then all the development around it, and we know problems, I'm just, it's my way of encouraging the city to fund or find funds for these other things that we're talking about, so, and it's, I wanted, you know, I wanted to see the dollar amount. I think it's important to see how much we're spending on some things and how do we spend money on other things. So, I don't know if anyone felt that was instructive or informative, but it was for me. So, any comments, questions? Okay. All right, so let's move on to committee member input. I will start with you, Hirsch.
Oh, okay. I'll let David talk about the helmets and our helmet events, but I haven't heard yet from Adam Brown on the e-bike task force or whatever yet. There's a lot of other things going on in Kaiser, but whenever that starts, I'll give input and let you guys know. I did attend the Northwest Kaiser Neighborhood Association meeting last night, and there were some traffic safety related issues that did come up at the meeting. One of them was speed racing on Lock Haven, Tuesday night, 8:45.
Every Tuesday?
Well, there's this last Tuesday for sure.
From where to where?
Generally from about Newburgh down to Windsor Island Road, and high speed. And one neighbor mentioned that they saw the car do a spin and come back and head eastbound on Lock Haven. And it was about 8:45. And just of the 15 people that were there, every one of them said, well, yeah, I saw that this night. That it's always after dark. And we established the time as 8:30, 8:45 area. No license, no descriptions, just the noise, and they're really, yeah. So wanted to let you know.
That's right along that concrete barrier. Where are they seeing?
They're hearing it in the houses are right there.
Okay.
There's some houses that do.
So they're hearing the speed, not seeing the speed.
No, they are seeing, because some of the houses are right there, by Newburgh, not Newburgh, McClure. There's some houses.
Okay, so far.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, they are there, and, they're hearing them too. And then, John Blake, Log House.
Okay.
He's
Who usually
reporting.
has on Windsor Island.
Yeah, but they're
Okay.
doing that loop too. and so John has mentioned that too. But it was an issue that came up, and it seems to be, maybe with the worse weather coming and stuff, it may die down, so it may be a summer thing, but I said I would pass it on. Mike, you're on deck here. The fiber optics people.
Shaking his head.
I know. They're on Lock Haven and others that have bike lanes. They're, blocking out the bike lane, but there's no bikes in the lane signs.
So just recently, we've gotten an influx of different contractors that we have
Yeah.
not, I'll say trained. And so we're getting on them and just,
Well-
and that is, you just mentioned that. So they're in Lock Haven and Joan and Newburgh and that whole
Right.
handful just recently moved in. And Lyle has been constantly
Okay,
out there
well,
saying you need this.
They're and I understand blocking the bike lane while they're doing construction, but they need to put the signage
Yeah.
up that,
Yep.
and they haven't been.
And today he stopped and we don't know it unless someone tells us about it. And
Okay,
you've just
just-
told us, but at the same point, if they don't obey, if they're not doing that, we're not there every second. So then
I
it
know.
would be another complaint and then we would go out there and we would
Well,
continue to
it-
do that.
We
and play
talked
that
about it
game.
last night.
Yeah, so.
And the other one is, one of our older residents, asked a question about Garwood and 15th. Most of the area in that end of Northwest Kaiser all have curb cuts, and then you put some nice ones on Windsor Island and everything. When you get on 15th and start heading to the park, right there at Garwood, and that's the entrance to
To
the
the-
trailer park, there is no cuts. And if you're using your walker,
So that's private.
well, I
And that's all I can go by and look at it, but
Why don't you go
I
by and let
can just
me
speak
know?
on that. That's,
My mission here was
Yeah.
to bring it up because it was a concern to our residents,
so when you say curb cuts, you mean ADA ramps? Okay,
or a cut.
well, okay.
Even the non.
I was thinking-
curb ramp.
There- Well, if you look around on Willow Lake, all the sidewalks that are on the north side have ramps.
Ramps, yes. I don't
They
think.
don't meet the current ADA, but they're functional.
Does 15th have sidewalks?
Yes, all the way to Shamawa.
Oh, I was going between Willow Lake and Shamawa Road, I'm sorry. I was headed the other way. You mentioned Garwood and I went, that's just a
Garwood
small
is-
stubby street, so,
Garwood is the entrance to the trailer park.
yes, so I focused right there and I was trying to think of sidewalks right there and I
Take a
couldn't.
look at it
Okay.
and let me know.
Will do.
That's my 2 cents.
Okay. Good.
Well,
Go
before
on.
you do, I wanted to ask Mike, what was my question? It
Curb
was,
ramps,
no, it was the thing you were talking about just before the curb ramps. What was it?
speeding.
Well, the thing that was the bike in,
Oh, right. Yeah. So, Mike, when a company like whomever, fiber optic company, do they have to come in and get permit from the city to do that work? And does the city do a kind of a walkthrough with the permit and say, okay, these, and you tell them, hey,
Yep.
don't, okay.
yeah, that's,
And then whether they do it or not, it's just,
Well, yeah, I just want to make sure, like,
Oh, yeah.
they're aware and they're, okay.
Mike and I've talked about that. That's why it was kind of eagle eye on that issue.
Yeah, right. Okay, that's all.
okay, few things. Fire department open house was last Monday. We got a thank you note from the people thanking us for being there again. We fitted about 20 kids with helmets. We took in $65. Sometimes in the judgment of whoever's doing it, they can't afford it. They can't afford 3 helmets, so they pay for one and we fit them anyway. So that's part of our volunteer money. So we got rid of almost all of our helmets. So our inventory, if you're interested, we have 37 helmets left, all extra large and toddler. No small, medium, or large. I made up an order, but we don't need to submit, we can't submit it because we don't have the money. But we made up an order of 3 cases of helmets, and 3 cases of 24 in a box comes to just shy of $1,000, $900. So we're paying $10, $10.50 per helmet plus shipping, okay? We don't have the money, I was trying to remember how much, it seems like we have about $600 left in our account. And for the, I guess everybody's been here a while. That money's all been donated to the Traffic Safety Committee, and the city keeps track of it for us. So we don't have enough money to buy helmets, but we don't need any helmets right for the next 3 months or so. So we really don't need to order them until February. Hirsch and I, and if any, you know anybody else, we need to contact groups that are willing to donate or give us a hand. Any amount would be nice. So that we don't have to go ask city council for help, for money. And we've been doing it for 20,
Since 1997.
yeah, 28 years without that. Anyway, so there's where we sit. So if you know anybody on any of these citywide groups, committees, let them know what, I'll go and talk to them if I know who to talk to. And so will Hirsch. So we have some sources, but,
And Brenda's willing to do some grant writing too.
and Brand,
Have we talked about getting the Venmo or the Cash App? Because we had at least 3 people that didn't have cash, that
Yeah.
if we'd had that
we wouldn't have to
QR
give them
code, we
away.
would have gotten some, they would have paid for their
Do
helmets.
you need to work with
Tim,
him to get that?
I don't know.
I can work with Tim.
Okay, because I don't know who Tim is.
I
Oh.
do, Tim would.
Tim Wood, the guy with all the money.
Yeah, I think you should do that.
Okay. There was a article in USA Today and Statesman Journal last week on speed limits in cities in Oregon and nationwide. And it's rather interesting is that throughout the nation in the last 2 years, more and more cities are reducing the residential speed limit to under 25. A lot of them are 20, some of them on the East Coast are down to 15 for all residential streets. So on that part of it, we were on track. The other part of the article mentions that the powers that be that set speed limits, the state organizations, are going away from the 85th percentile. Part of that was because when Texas put their speed limit up to 85 on southwest Texas highways, freeways, and I was in Montana, it's always been 80 as long as I can remember, plus you could buy passes to go over 80 unofficially. Yeah, so you could go in a truck, semi, 90 or so. If you're in northern Montana, you'll know why. Anyway, so that the speed limit method of assigning speed limits to residential and urban streets is changing, and they're looking at the problems with the 85th percentile driving the speed limits on freeways in the United States up. So there's lots, everybody's at 75 in the rural or more rural areas, central part. And some are going to 80 and 85. And the death rate's going right up with it. Because at 85, you're not gonna get into the bumper collisions. If you leave the road at 85, it's a long way before you land, okay? So that's an interesting article. If I could find it again, I'll send it to you. It's not very long.
Thank you.
Is that it? I think so.
You done?
I think so.
Matt, anything? This is not really input. I meant to ask this earlier when we were talking about pedestrian crossing, so I'll ask now. Is there a pedestrian, we have traffic car counters, right, where cars go over and we count the cars. Do they have a pedestrian type thing where it's a visual thing where they just, with AI now, they could see, hey, there's a person there and count?
That's why I thought I'd go down tomorrow.
Well, we got some retired people here. They can do that.
Yeah, I got a good book to read.
Okay.
It's not supposed to rain
Don't go by
tomorrow.
your street, though. You won't click
You won't
anything.
see, nobody walks down my street.
Yeah. All right, well, that's all I had to ask. Brenda.
So our neighborhood, that's traffic orientated, Mamren did get their extra speed sign in, so thanks,
They
Mike.
did,
They did, it's up,
25,
it's up, 25, yes.
they have orange things on it.
No, just a speed sign. No orange things.
Nope, no. Diamonds.
The orange goes up when the beavers win a game.
So, how many years?
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
I got some pink ones.
On that positive note, I don't have anything further to add. Thank you.
Do we have anything from,
I actually do have something to add, and it's about the pedestrians on Verda and Alter. So my sister and a lot of her friends tell me that like it's kind of unsafe to cross during like the end of school and sometimes at the beginning, in that three-way intersection.
Oh, what, Claxter?
Yeah. It's kind of unsafe, and there's like not really a stop sign or a crosswalk there. And I was wondering if we could do anything about that. Like maybe there's like just something, like even like what do you call it?
The project is, if you notice the trees are being cut down and everything, there is a street improvement project that will address pedestrians, bikes, and everything. It's been in the works. In doing projects, it's almost a 20-year cycle. But now the boots are on the ground. They're cutting trees down, which bothers me, but we need the improvement there. And Mike, how long? I know the project has started, so.
Yeah, the trees are being cut down, and Salem Electric and PG are starting to move their poles back, and then the actual construction should start this spring. So some preliminary things are going on right now, and then you'll see stuff moving forward from that. So
Do we
Claxton,
have a
right on.
picture of it anywhere, a sketch? What it's going to look like?
possibly on the our
On the
website.
It's a major project, and at that intersection where Alder comes into Verda, it's going to go, that's going to be realigned so that it goes straight across, I believe, as opposed to that jog that it currently has. And I think there are also sidewalks on both sides and bike lanes.
Yeah. So your thought?
It's gonna get done.
Yeah,
Tell them, I brought this up and they're doing it right now.
First thing he asks for, he gets? What the heck?
Mike, I have something I forgot
yeah.
before I interrupt the city council. I started a letter to the budget committee, which we don't need till next, February, March. And some things that we might, and it's just me writing, so it's just tentative. But what I hoped was eventually we'd look at that and saying, yeah, let's go to the budget committee and ask for these things. And so everybody should have some, so if you think of something you want. And the things I had tossed out were the mobile radar display, speed limit, thingamajiggies. And a couple more, getting a couple more of those. The little metal orange reflectors, the green paint for more intersections. So we've got two. That's to be for sure. Maybe see if we want more. Maybe we're gonna need money from the city council or the budget committee for helmets. I don't know. I'm just up in the air. And we've always been, and we've sent the recommendation to city council, but not in the last few years, for putting in sidewalks throughout the city. And also, anything from everybody to, let's roll the dice and find 2 blocks we're gonna do next year or something. But putting it off and saying, well, we'll think about it, oh, it's too expensive. Some amount of money could be put forward, and at least 1 block in the city of Kaiser that doesn't have sidewalks could get them. And there are a lot of them that are inexpensive compared to, Mike, right? If we have to move storm drains and sewers and water and electricity, it gets expensive to put in a sidewalk. On the other hand, we have some that are relatively clear And actually, the people living on them have used the city easement for their front yards, so. You could put a sidewalk in with minimal expense. And then, I thought we should probably, if we're asking the city to reduce the speed limit, somebody should budget for, that's a heck of a lot of 25-mile-an-hour speed signs. I don't know how many, but it's a whole kit and caboodle of them.
Counselor Shar, you had?
That was all, thank you.
Do you want to wait until my liaison report for me to respond, or do you, and go to staff? How do you want to, your agenda?
Yeah, I was gonna go to
Yep.
staff, but if you feel like it's really important to respond directly and immediately, I think.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you, Chair de Blasi. Mr. Dempster, just a reminder, we have the sidewalk gap program on both our short-term and our long-term city council goals that are up here. We've already had one work session on it, and we have another one upcoming. I don't remember the exact date, but I would encourage you to look at the city council agendas, because those are, the upcoming work sessions are listed on there with the date and the subject matter that we're talking about. So, we are working on it.
Could you remind me, during a work session, the public comes, but they're listening, right? They don't ask questions?
We've had dialogue in the past on the topic, but it's typically just an opportunity for the council to work with staff and to have that dialogue back and forth. But I know when we've had past work sessions before on different topics, we've taken dialogue with people that are in the audience that are there with a vested interest. So if our traffic committee comes to that work session, that would absolutely be an appropriate time for that dialogue. We've also had work sessions specific to committees, so where the city council and the traffic safety, so the committee can always request to have a work session with the council on a certain topic. But we are keenly aware of the issue with sidewalks. So I almost die just about every day when I walk, so with no sidewalks or tripping, et cetera. So we're on it.
Well, I would suggest maybe we have a joint session earlier next year before budget season starts.
That's good.
Okay, and Dawn, if you could send a reminder, I know you send reminders all the time about work sessions, but I don't know if you can flag it somehow special in the subject line.
Oh, you want to be copied on the council work session agendas?
Well, yeah.
Is that what
just-
you're asking?
Yeah,
Okay,
basically
yeah.
yeah. Thank you. All right, Mike.
Thank you, Chair DeBlassi. A couple things. Right now, we're investigating a dip in the road at Lock Haven North across from McNary Fields. I'm sure you've all driven by westbound on Lock Haven, and you kind of do this. Need to come up with a solution for that. City of Salem has their 72-inch interceptor sewer line right in that vicinity. They've done some dye tests, and it's inconclusive, but we're figuring out a solution for that and addressing it. So just let you guys know we're working on that. And the second one is our guys are still out cleaning catch basins, getting ready for the rainy season. So that's just an ongoing thing that we do for maintenance. So that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Officer Powell?
Just a kind of an update from the police department in regards to traffic safety and how it'll affect part of what I do is, we've got one community service officer that's just about ready to come online. That'll help immensely with patrol calls, taking over hopefully to where I don't have to do any more parking complaints. I have a lot more things I could do other than parking, and I wouldn't have to sit there and block traffic for a broken down vehicle. That would be a CSO position. There's better things for us to be doing. So that's, she's just about ready to come online full time, and by herself. And I think there's still, that hasn't been solidified yet, but there was probably going to be a second one to assist patrol and some community outreach. And then my partner, Jorge Miranda, has been pulled away from motors to patrol over a year and a half ago. Next Tuesday, we've got enough staff now. We've got some laterals hired for patrol. So now he's coming back to traffic. We'll have 2 motors to out, so where we can actually do some little more productive traffic enforcement. So,
The answer may be no, but can you provide any information about the trail incident?
There's no inclination anything was speed related. All I can say is, for an unknown reason, she left the lane of travel.
Okay.
So,
All right, thank you. Council?
Thank you, Chair de Blasi. So we've already talked about the upcoming agenda item at City Council on the 20 mile per hour speed issue or topic. I am going to ask Mr. Griffin, or maybe it's Dawn. I think that there is and I have to be careful because there could be a potential land use issue that I have to address, so I can't attend the meeting. But there will be a meeting in November, I believe, here in the event center related to the development on River Road, and I believe it's Trail, the developer is hosting. So that might be a meeting that members of this committee would be interested in because of the, I think the proposed, or what they might be talking about development-wise, which would then influence traffic and so forth. So I will let staff get that information out to the committee so I can stay out of it.
Were you saying that's the same night as?
No, I'm just saying, I think you guys might, members of this committee might be interested in attending to hear what the proposed development and conversation with the developer is related to traffic and safety and
Yeah, thank you.
multimodal transportation.
Yeah. That's it? Okay. All right, I think that's it. All right, so, it has you, Matt, for November 3rd, but since I'm doing the 20th, and there'll be no meeting between then and now, between the 3rd and the 20th, I guess you'll get pushed to.
You thought you were missing it altogether?
Yeah.
Sorry,
Matt wants to do to the December one.
that's right.
Yeah,
You
I
can,
can have the December meeting.
you can dress up as Santa if you want.
Hey, I'll wear a hat.
Okay.
That's as far as I go.
All right, so our next meeting, speaking of November, is the 20th. And so, if I don't see you before then, be safe, and hopefully I will see you.
Yeah.
Good night.
Thank you very much.